No one expected a routine Saturday night to change the fate of the NBA, yet in the blink of an eye, news of a trade so astonishing rippled through the basketball world. Luka, a player many believed would be a Dallas Maverick for life, was suddenly wearing the purple and gold of the Los Angeles Lakers. Every fan and analyst echoed the same question: how did this happen and why? If you thought you'd seen it all, buckle up. This trade might be the biggest twist in modern basketball history. Late-night social media feeds erupted with a single bombshell. The Mavericks had agreed to send Luka to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis. At first, it seemed like a fever dream or an elaborate hoax. Surely no one would trade away a generational superstar in his prime for anything short of a king's ransom. But as verified reports rolled in, disbelief gave way to frantic discussions and heated debates. Commentators canceled their weekend plans to hop on emergency live streams. Fans scrolled through threads, fingers trembling, trying to make sense of it all. It was the kind of surprise that made you question everything you thought you knew about the NBA. But the real shock came when inside sources revealed that not even Luka or AD had seen it coming. With no prior rumors, no build-up, and no hints from locker room whispers, everyone was blindsided. The abruptness of it all suggested some deeper forces were at play. Why else would the Mavericks, fresh off a finals run just last season, ship out the face of their franchise? For now, the questions far outnumbered the answers. Speculation soared once the initial shock wore off. According to anonymous insiders, Mavericks executives had wrestled with two massive concerns about Luka: his long-term conditioning and the monster contract extension he was set to command. At 25 years old, Luka was poised for a top-tier payday, one that could make him the league's highest-paid player. From a distance, letting a future Hall of Famer go over salary disputes and a handful of extra pounds in the offseason felt absurd. And yet, whispers hinted at tension within the organization about his off-court habits. Some staff members allegedly worried that his early career success might lead to complacency over time. Others insisted that these rumors were blown out of proportion by restless front office members who wanted more control. Then there was the seemingly contradictory angle. Dallas had spent years searching for a transcendent star after Dirk Nowitzki. Why cut ties with one of the best in the game at the exact moment their championship window opened? It was impossible to wrap your head around unless the Mavericks believed they were one move away from winning now with a more defensively oriented big man like Anthony Davis. But behind that surface level logic, fans were left scratching their heads. Was this really about winning, or was there a hidden agenda? The sports media cycle devoured every rumor, accusation, and half-baked theory it could find. Pundits declared Dallas had lost its mind, labeling the front office as short-sighted. Lakers fans roared in triumphant disbelief, crowning themselves future champions. Every social media platform lit up with hot takes, comedic memes, and outraged rants from diehard Mavericks loyalists. Some fans felt personally betrayed, having pinned their hopes on Luka's ability to carry them back to the promised land. Meanwhile, subtle rumors of Mark Cuban's involvement fueled even more drama. Was the outspoken owner truly on board with this? Could personal friction behind closed doors have spurred the trade? Dallas management insisted it was a calculated decision aimed at building a more balanced roster. But as the tension escalated, it only got clearer that this story had multiple layers, and we'd just begun peeling them back. But that wasn't the whole story. To grasp the magnitude of this trade, you have to remember how Luka transformed the Mavericks practically overnight. Drafted amid some doubts and overshadowed by more hyped American prospects, he wasted no time proving he was not just the future of the franchise, he was the franchise. The city lit up whenever he took the court. Energy soared in the locker room as teammates fed off his fearless play, and when he guided Dallas to a thrilling finals run, it felt like the next chapter in a storied Maverick history that began with Dirk's legendary title in 2011. Fans saw Luka's potential to become a perennial MVP threat, and that meant a realistic chance at multiple championships. He wasn't simply a very good player, he was a generational superstar, the kind of talent you build around for a decade or more. In that context, shipping him out so soon sounded like basketball heresy. Even critics who found flaws in his game or worried about his condition had to admit, players of his caliber don't grow on trees. Once they're gone, it can be a 20-year wait before another star like that graces a franchise. This explains the collective heartbreak felt by Dallas supporters. Many believed they'd be cheering on Luka well into his 30s, forging the kind of iconic legacy reserved for all-time greats. Now they're forced to watch him shine under the bright lights in Los Angeles, wondering if they gave up on a once-in-a-lifetime player for reasons that might never make complete sense. On the other side of this blockbuster stands Anthony Davis, a star in his own right and a key contributor to the Lakers' 2020 championship. Known for his shot-blocking prowess and unmatched versatility, AD can dominate the paint or step outside for mid-range jumpers. When he's healthy and locked in, few big men can match his impact. For Dallas, the appeal is clear. They get a seasoned champion capable of anchoring their defense. They also avoid tying up their budget in an astronomical contract for Luka. If AD remains healthy, perhaps the Mavericks envision a scenario where their strong supporting cast meshes perfectly around him. They may be chasing a more traditional path to victory, with a dominant big man and a robust rotation of shooters and passers. Yet anyone who has followed AD's career knows the red flags. Injuries have derailed many of his seasons, and some critics question whether he can truly lead a team on his own. Still, the Mavericks front office insists it's a gamble worth taking. Perhaps they believed this was their best short-term route to a title while the Western Conference landscape is in flux. But is that all there is to it? There's a quiet tension in Dallas, an unspoken fear that they might have just handed the keys of the NBA's future to the Lakers on a silver platter. Time will tell if this risk turns into glory or backfires spectacularly. For Los Angeles, the logic behind this move seems almost too good to be true. One morning, they wake up with an aging LeBron James and an often injured Anthony Davis. By that evening, they've secured the services of arguably the third or fourth best player on the planet in Luka Doncic. The synergy between LeBron and Luka is a tantalizing prospect. Two oversized playmaking wizards capable of dissecting defenses at will. Still, eyebrows are raised on how the two will coexist. LeBron has dominated the ball his entire career, orchestrating the offense like a maestro. Luka does the exact same thing. Does that mean King James will finally play off-ball more frequently? Will their styles clash or blend into an unstoppable force? Amid the endless speculation, one theory stands out. The Lakers might be quietly preparing for a future without LeBron. Even though he's still playing at a high level, Father Time catches up with everyone eventually. By acquiring Luka, the Lakers ensure a seamless transition to the next phase of the franchise the moment LeBron decides to hang it up. Whether this was the grand plan from the start or a moment of sheer opportunism, one fact remains crystal clear. The Lakers just pulled off one of the most stunning heists in NBA history. Overnight, their fan base went from bracing for LeBron's eventual decline to celebrating a new era that could span another decade of contention. Blockbuster trades often cause shockwaves across the league, and this one could reshape the Western Conference for years. Rivals like the Clippers, Nuggets, and Suns are surely reevaluating their rosters. If the Lakers suddenly become the favorites, how might other teams respond? Are we on the brink of an arms race where franchises stockpile talent to dethrone LA? Meanwhile, the Mavericks could either soar if AD plays like an MVP or crash hard if injuries resurface. Fans are left to imagine what could come next. Perhaps superstars in smaller markets will demand trades to form new alliances, or maybe we'll witness an explosion of parity, with mid-tier teams believing that anything is possible now that the unthinkable has already happened. In the end, trades this shocking rarely happen in isolation. They leave a permanent imprint on every conversation around the league, from locker rooms to boardrooms. And what might happen next is even more surprising. The Luka AD trade isn't just one of those jaw-dropping sports moments you talk about for a week or two. It's an all-time milestone that could set the course of NBA history. For Dallas, questions of why and what if might linger for decades. They've taken a colossal gamble, letting go of a generational superstar for a chance at a more balanced, defense-oriented approach. For the Lakers, the future could be brighter than anyone ever imagined, with LeBron guiding a new phenom before passing the torch. Only time will reveal who truly won this deal. Maybe the Mavericks will prove the naysayers wrong and hoist another championship banner fueled by Anthony Davis's dominance in the paint. Or maybe in 20 years, fans around the world will shake their heads at how a cosmic level talent like Luka Doncic slipped into the Lakers' hands for a fraction of his worth. One thing's certain, we're witnessing a turning point, one that promises to keep us riveted from opening tip to final buzzer. Now the ball is in their court, literally and figuratively, and the entire basketball world is holding its breath. Will Dallas's audacious move be hailed as visionary genius, or will it haunt them as the biggest mistake in franchise history? The clock is ticking, and we can't wait to see how this new chapter unfolds.